Hey all, Hipper here, and welcome to the Arena How to Play video. And like this mode is all about XP. So pick a premium ship and load it up with XP boosters. Like you don't need the blue one. I just have that because I want to get some commander XP as well. But a premium ship, get that. This is because that all boosters count in this mode. So of course you want to give yourself as much XP as you possibly can. And that means a premium ship and as many boosters as possible. And when you start the game, I find it works much better if you flank the other team. Don't head in towards the cap yet, but also don't stay in your spot where you spawn. I see many teams do that, and I love that because it means that when I flank, like what I'm doing now, I will have access to the broadsides immediately. And another thing, this mode is a cruisers mode. Destroyers do okay in it as well, but battleships, they have a really hard time in this mode. So I wouldn't pick a battleship if I was going to do well in this mode. And if you're picking a cruiser at tier 5, like why wouldn't you pick the best cruiser, the most versatile cruiser? And that is Exeter. It is super fast, it is super maneuverable for tier 5, it has heals, it has sonar, it has smoke, and it has super acceleration. And as you can see here, it is the only cruiser at tier 5 that's able to do agile cruiser stuff. And it outlasts any other cruiser at this tier. So like my recommendation is definitely go with Exeter if you have the ship, because it is a premium, and like I said before, it has all the bells and whistles that you're going to need in this game. And especially the sonar is very handy because it's extra long range, which you will need later in these battles here when you have to flush the destroyers out from within the cap. And as you can see, it's very nice at Citadel in Nurembergs. And some kind of hiccup in the video there. So see, this team is already pretty much finished now. They lost their cruiser, they only have 2 destroyers left. And the destroyers, like, they really have a hard time in this mode, because at some point they're going to have to move into A and cap, and that cap is so small, so if you have a sonar, you can pretty much sonar the whole cap and reveal every single DD in there. And then of course it's very easy to take the destroyers out if you're in a cruiser, especially if you're in Exeter. Now, the Gras is also an okay choice for this mode here, and yeah, Nuremberg's okay as well, but I totally recommend Exeter. Like, no other tier 5 cruiser can pretty much do anything against this cruiser. It's just so good. And the smoke is really going to help you out. And of course the heal as well. I mean, you can outlast any other cruiser. And if you're the last cruiser standing in this match here, you will win. So here we have 2 destroyers, and normally I wouldn't bother with them, but they are so close anyway, I might as well take them on and make sure we don't have to contend with them later in the game. And with an agile cruiser here, this little setup they had here trying to catch me in Torp Crossfire, it backfires horribly. My sonar is very long range, and there's simply no hiding from an Exeter in this mode, especially once we start on the capping part. And to my joy and amazement, this player here is a guy I have been facing at least 2 or 3 other times before, where we always end up in a one-on-one, and I always end up sinking him. And that always results in him sending me hate mail, saying I'm cheating or whatever. So obviously, I'm more than happy to see this guy again, and I totally give up on the Gade here, so I can get this gunmetal guy, because yeah, I'd like another notch in my belt with this guy here. people who send hate mail, they amuse me. So the only thing he gets out of that is just to get totally focused every time I see him in a game. So the sonar ran out, so we'll just use a very speedy cruiser here to catch up to him. And he's put himself in a bad spot there with the map edge. So and he's used his torps, so it's not really much of a problem taking him out. And that means after this, then there's only one destroyer left with like a sliver of health of this team. And that's also right on time, because I'd say do this for the first 5 minutes of the game. Especially if you're facing divisions. If you're a solo player facing divisions, then get at the divisions broadsides first. Because usually the division players, they're just going to sit there and wait until each of the other 3 teams have lost at least 1 or 2 ships. And that's when they move in. And yeah, totally cowardly way to play, but it works. And by attacking their broadsides right off the bat, you are making that play very hard to go through with. And especially if, like in the beginning here, you flank the team next to you, doesn't matter which team it is, as soon as you spot that team, that means the other team next on the other side of the team you're spotting will also be able to see the team. And if you're lucky, they will turn over and they will catch that first team in a broadside. And that is a very effective way of getting rid of a whole team in the first like 3 to 5 minutes of the game. Once you've done that, we'll head in towards the cap here, which is what myself and these 2 destroyers just agreed upon here. Now, we're not in a division, we're just random players, but they play really well. I mean, the destroyers are scouting really well, and the guy is trying to cap, but also not trying too hard. We don't want to lose him. So as soon as I can get in there and support him, that's when we'll really kick into gear. And again, an agile cruiser is a must, because my Exeter goes, well, almost 38 knots, and you will need that when you go on like an errand like I did just there to take out 2 destroyers. If you go like 30 knots or something, it will take like a day and an afternoon to get back to the cap, and you cannot afford to do that in this game. You need to keep at least the cap within gun range, so you need to be able to reset the counter if you get the opportunity. So if someone's capping and you see them, just shoot a salvo or 2 their way to reset the counter while you go and do whatever else you have to do. That is the best way to play this game here. So we have another Nürnberg here, and again we're going to use our agile cruiser to just totally outplay this guy here. I mean, no other cruiser can do a turn like that at tier 5 at less than 10 kilometer range. Only Exeter. Now the Japanese ones get close, but they're much squishier, and they lack the smoke and the heal. So see, we got a nice citadel on this guy, and he is fleeing. That's exactly what we want. So he's out of this game now, and this destroyer is trying to cover me with smoke. So I could slow down and just sit here, but I'd rather get in and start capping. I think that's more important, because I have my sonar ready, and I want to support the destroyer in here in case someone else tries to cap, which is very likely. And of course, yes, someone is capping right now. So we just need to be spotted so we know exactly where they are. So that means they're over here somewhere. And then we'll just approach with the sonar on. And of course, this guy runs away. Because again, you should play cruisers in this mode. If you're the last cruiser standing, and you have a sonar, and you have the cap, you are invincible. So do yourself a favor and play cruisers, and preferably Exeter. In my opinion, of course, play what you like, but that's what I would recommend. This ship is just so versatile, and it can deal with any situation. And on top of everything else, it's an agile cruiser. And yeah, I think it's overpowered for tier 5 actually. So, very good battle with these two destroyers. If you guys are watching this video, thank you for like a great game. And we got a victory, and because of all our boosters and stuff, we stay in the top 10. And I've only played 4 games in this, and it's nearly been out for a day, and I'm still in top 10. So that's my goal. I don't really care about top 1.